Good morning and welcome. It's great to have on board Thierry Ngutegure from Six Chillies. Thierry, thanks very much for getting involved in the podcast.
Yeah, and thank you very much for having me. As we say, it's been a little while since we've caught up, and it's a crying shame. So, yeah, I always appreciate jumping on and chatting with you.
A lot has changed. Obviously, you're now working for Six Chillies. I think last time you were with Salt. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask you a load of questions so that people can get a feel for Thierry, the person at work and also outside work. So I'm going to start you off with a simple one. Tell us a fun fact about you, Thierry.
God, a fun fact. Okay, cool. So those who have maybe not, we've not had the opportunity to kind of cross paths, may not know that I've started a bunch of different things over time. I am completely obsessed with like coming up with ideas and actually bringing them to life. Funnily enough, it's actually a trait my wife probably hates now because she's like, just finish a thing and put it down and walk away. But I love the idea that you can conceptualize something in your head and actually make that a thing other people can interact with, whether it be a product, a service, or something that you just put out there into the wider world. So a great example of this is a couple of years ago, I'm a big lover of peanut butter. I was trying to get into the gym, really kind of healthy lifestyle, as a lot of us are trying to do at the moment in terms of trying to understand what really goes into our food, right? So then I was reading the back of the label of a peanut butter, and I was like, how is it this many ingredients? It's just peanut butter. It doesn't make any sense. And so then my little brain went whirring away, and I kind of said, look, how many people consume peanut butter? What is the demand for peanut butter at the moment? What does the category look like? Is it growing? Is it shrinking? Where are the nuts sourced from, etc.? What actually goes into making a really good peanut butter? And we ended up producing a really cool brand called Mother Nutter, a Mother Nutter peanut butter made just with sea salt and we added a bunch of cool flavors in there as well. So you can get like bacon frazzle flavors and chili ones and things like that. And we put it out there into the wider world, and it did really well. We managed to get it into Selfridges, and you can pretty much buy it at any decent farm shop at the moment. So that's what I mean by like bringing ideas to life. Yeah.
First of all, can I stop you? I'm a massive fan of peanut butter. My two girls, my youngest daughter she lives on peanut butter. Now we use a different brand, some pat. But if your brand is available, we shop in Morrison's. I'd love to buy it, but I'd like to order some online and try it out.
Yeah, please do go ahead. It is delicious. What I would do as well is because I love PB&Js when I was growing up too. You obviously is a dynamic duo, right? So then we created a jam to go with it. It's absolutely delicious. Could not recommend it anymore. Obviously, as the person that kind of created it,
That's brilliant.
It's I truly love, because I think as marketers we come up with incredible ideas for other people. And sometimes those people may not value those ideas and therefore they don't go anywhere. But as marketers, I think we forget that we have the ability, the unique ability to be able to do that for ourselves if we wanted to. Like we possess the skill to understand an opportunity, to understand the market, to understand how to position it, how to price it, who it should be for, all of the super, super important things. And I guess where I hold my hands up and, I've got kind of extreme accountability as to what I'm good at and what I'm not. I then found a partner on the manufacturing side to kind of work with there and say, look, I have a complete understanding of what it should look like and what it should do and who it should serve. And I think from the physical execution, I need the help to be able to do that. And we came together and created a really great product. And yeah, I've done that a fair few times now, but I'm really thankful that and people are delusional enough to follow me on some of these escapades. And so yeah, we've done a peanut butter, I've done a tequila, we've done handbag rentals.
Where do you get the time to actually where do you get the time to do your job, your day job, when you're doing all that stuff?
Yeah, well, it's an external exercise of my job. So like if I do these things right, so if I'm telling people that, I'm a data translator and I'm a data storyteller, there is no greater execution than the physical manifestation of that in the wider world. Like with that peanut butter, it might seem, maybe a little gimmicky to some people. It might be like, oh, you just release a product. I saw that opportunity arguably in a spreadsheet, and I was able to create something that somebody could hold, purchase, and love with their friends and family. That is data-led storytelling in my opinion. So the more of those things that I kind of do, the more, it's a great example of exactly what I'm trying to put out there into the world.
That's brilliant. Absolutely inspirational. So we've got a number of questions.
Yes.
So I'm going to go into a little bit more of a serious question, I guess. How did you actually get started? Where did the journey of digital marketing begin for you?
Yeah, so going way back, so let's go back to university at this point. I'm studying biological sciences, focusing on immunology and genetics, and I absolutely despise it. Some people are good at it. I was just horrible at it. I just couldn't spend 7 hours in labs. And then, but what I quickly noticed is I just love being surrounded by people and understanding what makes them tick. So I, at the time, got a job at Leeds University Union, and I worked in every single department. As in, that is no joke. I worked in everything from the finance department to loading bay, getting all the deliveries in, to working behind the bars, serving teas, coffee, etc. And that exercise was to show me it was a unique opportunity that not many people get. That a union has every single department you could probably have in a business, and it allows students to flow through them. So then I took advantage of that and went kind of everywhere. And I met the marketing team and I was like, I love this. This is the way of me being able to express my analytical mindset, but in a creative output. I joined as their kind of market research exec there, and it allowed me to run a bunch of, I supported the business in running research throughout the kind of studentship in understanding what it is that students want, what it is that students hate, do future students want versus past students that have gone, and how do we support them within their journey and their learning journey with us in the short period that they're with us at the time. And I absolutely love that. And that kind of catapulted me into marketing. And then I joined the first kind of Leeds-based independent like creative agency, Epiphany at the time. They were looking for a data journalist. So this is somebody who has the ability to look at research and pull out the stories that are necessary for newsworthy articles, really. And so
was it Rob Shaw? We actually had Rob Shaw on about 3 months ago. I was doing an interview with him where I'm assuming he was there at the time.
So this was just before the J-Wing acquisition at the time, right? So at this point, we were an earned media team and a traditional PR at the time. And then that came together, and quite literally within the first like 6 to 9 months, that's when the kind of J-Wing acquisition and Rob Shaw and the team came in. But so at the time, it was Tom Salmon who was at the helm, who
that's right, yeah.
I also highly credit for where I kind of am in my career, an extremely incredible guiding force within my experience there. And similarly to like Rob as well. Yeah, so it was, you can tell like there was a bubble being built of like excellence, like really incredible people within that space at that time. And then I got addicted. Yeah, I became a data journalist, and that allowed me to sit within the kind of like SEO team and work with people like legends like Malcolm Slade within the SEO scene.
Malcolm,
and then I could kind of jump around. So you can see already, like I got such a unique seat in the cockpit of like the future of digital, and I took a full advantage of that. And so I kind of joined as a data journalist, and data-led storytelling became the thing I became obsessed with. It connected analytical mindset and people, and the rest is history.
Yeah, I know you've worked with other incredible people. So Stephen Kenwright, we had Stephen on. He actually was the one that mentioned about your peanut butter. I think it was about a year ago when I interviewed him. So obviously it rides at 7, and then Salt, I think Salt Agency was one of your. So you've kind of had a really good kind of path to become the expert that you are now. You've kind of covered everything.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think early on I was quite crystal clear that I would like to do something of my own full time. And so once you have a view of, or hazy as it may be, of your future and you want to do something of your own, it changes how you behave today. So if you look back at my LinkedIn, you'll kind of see I'm around certain incredible places for approximately about 2 years. What I'm looking to achieve there is to absorb absolutely everything. And the moment I feel I'm no longer like learning, that is the point at which I kind of hold my hands up, and I'm very honest with the people who are kind of hiring me. So I had the unique ability and pleasure of working. So Epiphany went over and Rise at 7. We built that into the monster that it is. Incredible powerhouse, what they're kind of doing over there. Journey Further, Salt equally.
And so then, that's right, you were there as well.
Yeah. So as you can see, that these names are just unreal, right? So I'm getting to go to basically like some of the best digital universities is the way I kind of saw things.
Yeah, but I think Thierry. So I think your journey is quite similar to mine in a way. I mean, I started in marketing, but I kind of had this trend early in my career where I was with companies between 2 to 3 years. Now, the longest company or the longest job I've ever had is what I'm doing now.
Yeah,
I've been doing what I'm doing now for me. For 12 years. But everywhere before that was 2 to 3 years. And I kind of felt similar to you. It was like once I felt I wasn't growing and I wasn't learning and I couldn't really improve what I was doing, why would I want to stay and just stay still in that position?
Yes.
But anyway, we're going to move on to another few questions here, but that's good. So when you're not creating all these amazing ideas, and when you're not kind of filled with all the data in your head, how do you actually switch off? What helps you relax?
Yeah, so Anyone who follows me on social probably knows I live two very different, maybe, lives. I am obsessed with a cheeky bottomless brunch. That's what I love. I love going out there and having drinks with my friends and the odd tequila. Hence
Yeah.
why I then made my own as
Nothing
well,
wrong with
clearly.
that.
Right. So, and for the force of balance, the other side is I think my mental capacity and agility is linked directly to my kind of physical wellness.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if I have been working out now, so for me, it's all about, I love weight training. I love high rocks. I love strength and conditioning. So even straight after this recording, I'm off to kind of a
Yeah.
high rocks class, and we're gonna do that. And the byproduct is like exponential. So if I'm saying, okay, I'm going to do 2 or 3 workouts a week, any type of stress, nobody cares when no one's stressed when you've got 200 kg on your back and your legs are shaking. At that point, the email you missed on
You
Tuesday.
tell me you squat 200 kilograms.
We're getting there. We did a
Crazy.
185 the other day, which was cool. So we're on the road to 200.
Okay.
Yeah, and you don't. That's what I mean. That's the beauty of like strength training, right?
Yeah.
So you get obviously the physical benefits, but also the cognitive benefits of being able to zone out and not think about anything. And you can't look at your phone. There's no notifications happening there. It's you, the music, barbell, and some weight. And there is very few places in life where there is that level of serenity. If I'm honest.
I agree. I mean, I try and balance. So I do running a few times a week.
Nice.
I try and do the gym twice a week. So I have like a push-pull split.
Nice.
And then I do a bit of yoga. So Friday night's my yoga night.
Yes.
And obviously, since I stopped smoking 6 years ago and I started doing yoga and started running, like you, I must admit, if I didn't do that fitness or that investment in well-being, I wouldn't be able to perform at the level. And you have to look after yourself,
Yes, you do. And it's looking after yourself and also doing it for your family.
Yeah.
Whatever that makeup looks like, whether you have children or you don't, etc.
Yeah.
There is a responsibility that has to occur there, because I think we live in let's be realistic, a capitalist state where success is directly credited to financial well-being. But actually, let's say you achieve the financial success, but your physical and mental capacity is nil point, then there is a complete problem there.
Absolutely. High rocks is hardcore, by the way. I find it hard enough to kind of finish a workout in the gym or to just do, like last night, a 5K run. The fact of trying to do like kilometer runs, then do some physical strength conditioning, repeat that process, that's hardcore. But that's for another interview. Okay, so let's get back to Six Chillies.
Yes.
What actually inspired you in the end to make the move to, right, this is what I want to do with Six Chillies?
Yes. Yeah. So as I mentioned earlier, I had a unique ability, a front row seat in some of the best digital agencies in the North.
Yeah.
And it allowed me to then kind of pick attributes I believe are akin to myself, and what I would like to put out there into the wider world. And so then when I was talking about how I put together like peanut butter and tequila, once again, it's market research, right? So what does the field look like? What is the opportunity? What's going on there? So my entire career was almost like a market research piece where I'm kind of trying to understand where everybody kind of sits and therefore where that opportunity is. At the time, I met a really, really clever guy called George Sinnott at Rise at 7 really early on. And we worked together and helped to build the data and insights team over there. And we got along. I call myself the Tasmanian devil in the sense of I come in, spin around in a room, spit out a load of ideas. George kind of catches them, distills them, and he catches them and distills them and goes, this is actually what's possible. I know you've asked for floating stairs in this house, Thierry, but as a civil engineer, this is actually what you can do. And his background was in agriculture as well. And so his path was kind of laid out for him in terms of becoming a generational farmer. And he kind of said, I wonder if there's anything else that I could do here. And so he kind of came into the digital world. So we came at it from a completely different lived experiences. But what we loved, and I guess the market research of my life told us, was there is a piece there around data, but for maybe not so technical individuals. So I believe we live in a world where over the last 5-10 years, we've been told to collect data and stockpile it. And the more data you have, the more decisions it will tell you. But what's actually happened is when you collect that amount of data, we've completely misunderstood that actually you become overwhelmed. There is a level of like looking at this pile of data and going, I actually don't know what to pick up and what to put down. I'm not quite sure what it's actually physically telling me. I've got more than anybody else, great, but I've not made any more decisions at the same ratio of how much I've been collecting them. And I think that sense of feeling overwhelmed has then created like a lack of confidence. So then you hear comments all the time in teams when they work with data people going, well, I'll let you do it because you're the data person. Or, well, would you like to double check because I'm not really that good at data? And there's this like weird like fear and lack of confidence around data. So we've got people, love of people. We've got love of analytical piece, but then there is a confidence piece. And I don't know if you can tell, I'm a very overly competent person, even if my skill set doesn't match that confidence. And so then there's a kind of a bridge in which we stood in the middle where we call ourselves data translators. So we work with people who are on the right hand side, super, super technical. And I call them the people who know where the wires in the back of the TV go. They understand the critical infrastructure required from a data perspective.
That sounds like my wife. She knows exactly where the wires go.
There you go. Funnily enough, I don't. Yeah. And then you've got the people on the left-hand side who want to feel empowered and confident to use data to make decisions, launch products, speak to audiences, etc., and kind of action that data. We sit in the middle and we're kind of those data translators. I'm not the most technical analyst in the world ever, nor am I the greatest strategist in terms of like applying that. But what I am really good at is helping people cross that bridge and have the confidence to go either side of that bridge. You know, I've worked in other businesses as well where, you know, data people sat in hermetically sealed rooms and no one spoke to them. Like, no, we are the data people who turn up to brainstorms, who come up with creative ideas, actually. Because why not? We are at the forefront of what is physical. I'm tracking what people are physically doing, thinking, or feeling. So it is my responsibility to communicate that to my wider team. Yeah, that's how I'd kind of.
Very, very good. But no, that's fine. It's very, very and spot on. Okay, now on to a less serious question and a nice one as well. So you can holiday anywhere in the world for 1 month without distraction from anyone, and you're not thinking about anything to do with anything. Where are you going to go?
Yeah, so I recently got married, which was super fun. And so then, obviously, I say super fun as if I was forced to. It was super fun. And we had the pleasure of, I've never really traveled for a long time, but we went on honeymoon and my wife put together this incredible trip. It was like a 5-6 week getaway where we traveled down to South America. I love being like the cultural idiot in the room in terms of like going to somewhere and just trying the food and trying the culture and learning the language and bumbling around. And so we, Argentina, Buenos Aires, incredible. I think firstly, the Latin American culture is phenomenal. Like music, food, heritage is just, it seeps out of their skin and it's really beautiful to see. Buenos Aires was an interesting one because they're really into their fitness as well. They've got a massive like kind of like paddle and high rocks and CrossFit scene. So there was a lot of gyms in that area and I could learn a lot from people there. There's the way they socialize is really lovely as well. So, you know, people and families go out into the street and will eat together and socialize together after work. And, you know, I think it goes to say that the power of the sun is a lot more powerful than we think. And when it's sunny, it truly brings communities together. And everyone just seems really cool there. Like, I was like horrifically dressed. I was like, oh my God, this is, I need to go buy something immediately. Like their Zara is clearly very different to ours.
Yeah. So I've never been to Argentina, but listen, that sounds incredible. And obviously England played Argentina. You know, with this podcast, I was going to try and do it before that game. I mean, obviously I've been interested, you wanted England to win, but Argentina, you've obviously got a love for Argentina as well. Would you ever go and live there? Like, if you had the chance to go and live and
if I actually did have to go to live somewhere, because I think when you talk about living, you are also have to consider like family and stuff like that, right? There's a lot of like, I say cultural baggage, a cultural look that we've kind of got. And if that was the case, I would go to live in Barcelona. I think that gives me the halfway of like culture, food. It's an hour time difference, 2 hours on a flight. And so, yeah, I think Barcelona would probably be my choice.
Brilliant. Super. Okay, so next one. Okay, if you could interview this is kind of a relatively new question I've injected into. So if you could interview any person, it can be famous, celebrity, or historical, who would it be and why?
Yeah, so I thought really long and hard about this one because there is a lot of obviously like historical icons I could have gone into, and they're icons by divine right. Like, of course, some of the stuff that they've done in human history is absolutely phenomenal. But I wanted to pick somebody who I think is relevant to me and somebody I've tried to embody myself, and even in my mannerisms and the way I speak on stage and things like that, I've borrowed a lot of that. So growing up, there was like Eddie Murphy and Kevin Hart and all the likes on TV. Like those were the superstars for me in my generation, because I found them as like, young black talent that had a unique perspective on life. They knew exactly where they wanted to be, and they were almost like willing the world and fate into like driving them there. But they were still really super, super grounded. If you've watched the Eddie Murphy documentary, it's spot on.
I
And
haven't
even
actually. No, I do want to
highly
watch that.
recommend it.
Yes.
Highly recommend it. Yeah. And so then I landed on Kevin Hart because for me, he's very crystal clear on what he wanted to be. When you watch back all the old videos, he's like, I want to be a mogul of a media business and do this, X, Y, and Z, etc. And this is when he was doing like small comedy clubs with like one light bulb swinging in the room. And then look at him today, a complete media empire. And I just really love people who can almost foresee the future in themselves. And I tried to do that for myself. It's extremely difficult, but it's almost a mentality thing, because from his perspective, he's like, I'm going to work harder than anybody else. But at the same time, your perception of yourself can drive you just as fast. And it's really interesting. Yeah.
Great actor. I mean, I grew up watching Eddie Murphy, by the way, Beverly Hills.
Yeah,
Cop.
classic.
And I think my first movie was Trading Places. I remember watching Trading Places.
Yeah.
And his laugh obviously back then was world famous,
It's brilliant. And also that was engineered. Like his laugh was engineered. Imagine how smart you have to be like, I need an audio trademark, and then come up with a laugh that is like, you can hear it anywhere in the world and it's him. Unreal.
On Kevin Hart, I did not know about his kind of business side of things, but my favorite movie would be the one that he did with The Rock. I think it was Central Intelligence.
Yeah.
I like that one. So
yeah, that duo is awesome. I loved it.
I love The Rock anyway. I mean, he's brilliant. Yeah. So, okay, let's see if we can find out. Okay, this is completely a contrasting question. What is the biggest challenge and opportunity in digital marketing right now? Now, obviously, it can be data. What is the biggest challenge that you see in the current climate?
So, I kind of muddled these two questions together in terms of the challenge, but also the opportunity, because I think this is a coin that's still spinning on an axis, I think. And I kind of went with AI. Now, traditionally, most people go with AI from a perspective of like, the things that you can build and a disruptor, and we can cure cancer and we can do all this. Yes, those things are to come for sure. But at the end of the day, how does this affect my life today? How does it affect how I show up to work and what I put out there into the world? I think at the moment, the reason it's maybe a bit of a disruptor is we've all picked up AI in our own. So take an organization. We've all picked up AI in our own level of competencies and uses. Somebody might use a Copilot for the way they're kind of working within Microsoft. Someone else is in Google and is using Gemini. Someone's using Perplexity. Someone else is using Claude Cowork. There is a complete medley of like, we're all attempting to do AI individually rather than collectively. So by doing it individually, it means there's no collective knowledge. There's no context layer being built of an organization and what it is that we stand for, what it is that we're good at, and how do we want to show up as a product, service, etc. into the world. Now, that's really dangerous because it's almost the same thing we've had with data and data silos, like different departments collecting data and going, well, my audience is 16 to 35. Well, my audience is 35 to based on completely different periscopes, like looking in different directions on the same business. The same thing is happening with AI. Therefore, I think the opportunity is... I've been looking at the team over at Brain Labs. Some of the incredible stuff they've been doing is, how do we take advantage of AI organizationally, as an organization wide? So how do we build a context layer that anybody can query against, can build really cool stuff on? And how do we build this kind of knowledge base as a department so that when the creative team is looking for some inspiration or some ideas, they're fishing from the same pool as the data team, who are adding in context of like sales figures, behavioral stats, observational bits that they've kind of seen in the wider world, market trends, etc. But we're all kind of fishing from the same lake. I think that really is the core opportunity with AI at the moment.
Good. I would like to get Daniel. I think Daniel Gilbert, isn't it, Brain Labs?
Yeah, I think
I'd like to try and get him on this as well.
I love the way he thinks. Like there is... he has a unique perspective on life and is very directional. He knows exactly. He's another person that I was kind of say when people have a very specific view of who they are in the world and how they contribute. He's awesome.
I think he did. There was a LinkedIn post I saw him doing a few weeks ago. I think it was about Cannes. Everybody in the world was going to Cannes, and it was quite a sarcastic comment. It was like, while everyone's away swinging, having their champagne, he's kind of more interested in kind of getting on with doing the job, you know. And I thought it was quite humorous, actually.
Yeah,
Right,
and he's giving it out for free. Yeah,
I know. Right, I'm looking through the question sets. I'm going to see if how did I miss this one? Okay. What's your favorite movie of all time?
yes. So I went with Apocalypto. So this was a film that was directed by Mel Gibson, and I have come back to year after year, decade after decade. It tells a story of a tribe who go through a bit of like love, turmoil, like fighting, etc. And then right at the end of the film, there is the arrival of like the Western civilization. So I think it might be the Spaniards or the Brits right at the end. But the reason I love it is that in a world where it's all about fast content and you can watch something without watching it, you can almost be doing the cooking and consuming something. It has subtitles and so therefore forces me to physically kind of watch something. It's not like dubbed or anything. They refuse the whole dub. It's straight up subtitles you have to watch. But at the same time, it's like an action film in its own right as well. It's just so well, and also there is a cultural deepness to it. So I believe the language is derived from that, like with historical accuracy within that too. It's really raw. It feels like there's no real CGI. It feels like you're literally in the forest. It's quite intense. It's hard to look away from being very honest. So yeah, highly recommend Apocalypto. Don't get me wrong. I love me a John Wick.
John Wick, two very contrasting movies, but I've never seen Apocalypto. And to be honest with you, I think the subtitles, you have to have a really good focus and content. And obviously you're a data person, so you're kind of locked in. For you have got that concentration.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last question, you'll be pleased to know the last question. What has been your, and you can pick any here, you've got so many bloody moments. What has been your proudest career achievement today? If you could pick one, what would you say is the biggest career achievement today?
Yeah, so I mean, as we kind of said, the trajectory of my career, I've been very crystal clear that I want to start something of my own. And so being able to actually do that. So, you know, I came up with that idea when I was like 16 that I would love to like start a business of my own. And I had that deep, like loud voice in the back of my head that just got louder and louder and louder as time went on. So yeah, starting Six Chillies, like deciding to step out into the world and actually build something that exposes your strengths and weaknesses. Like, as I said, there is a deep insecurity in me that I'm not really technical, but I'm also not a strategist. And so then that is out there for the world to see and for me to kind of bear. And it's quite exposing. But in that same reason, it's really fulfilling because you get to meet people who are absolutely incredible and you can bring them along on that journey who kind of fill those gaps in that you believe that you might not possess. And it's completely terrifying. But at the same time, I think a lot of us yearn to contribute to the world in some way, shape, or form. And I just feel very, very, very lucky to have engineered my career in a way where I've learned from some of the best people that we've kind of talked about already, that then allows me to go, here's my opinion on how I think the world should sit and what people should think about, what people should kind of focus on. So yeah, it's very much Six Chillies. The trajectory of where we're kind of going as well is for me to guide, which is also terrifying, but what a great opportunity, right? Because normally, you know, in the world of work, you have a co-founder, a board of directors, whatever that might be, who set the direction and you kind of go, I agree. And it's their job to kind of compel you to go with them. It's now backwards for me, right? So I set the direction and I kind of turn around to our team as well and go, this is how we're going to be incredible. So yeah, it's very exposing.
Right. Before I hand over to you for any last things you want to say, I have to say you've got incredible energy and enthusiasm. I remember the first time I spoke to you 3 years ago, you were speaking at one of the Digital Superchats events and I'd never met you before. I knew of your profile because I'd seen your kind of career kind of from LinkedIn. But when I engaged with you for the first time, I remember you used to have this kind of, I think it was a little, hello, beautiful people.
Yeah.
It always stuck with me. But your energy is great. And it's clear to see why the success you've had from all those things, you know. So fair play to you. Keep doing what you're doing, Thierry.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
So To end it off, is there anything in the last minute, I'm going to hand over to you, you want to tell, anything that you're doing over the next month, any speaking opportunities, any announcements you want to make? Feel free.
Yeah, so yeah, thank you very much, firstly, for even kind of having me on. As you can tell, I can speak for England and speak the back legs off a
Grant, so
donkey.
can I.
So yeah, I truly appreciate that. My complete focus for the next year and a bit is going to be building Six Chillies. Our unique position as being data-led translators, helping people kind of cross those bridges of analytical and creative. We will be launching our own products as well. So the reason we kind of built Six Chillies is to allow us to once again build incredible things that we can put out there into the world, as well as helping clients and our kind of teammates and things like that. So we will be launching a couple more products because obviously, John, I can't sit still.
No, you can't.
So there will be a High Rocks product coming out very, very soon, which is super cool.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And when you see it, you will be like, well, of course, from a perspective of what would a data analyst who loves people put out there into the world. So yeah, so some super, super exciting stuff. So please make sure you're following us on like LinkedIn, specifically myself and also Six Chillies. I would truly, truly appreciate that.
All right. Well, listen, thanks very much, Thierry, for getting involved. I really, really appreciate an incredible story of success, energy, focus, learning, life learning through all the things you've done from university, the student union. So thank you very much.
No, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.